Today we are talking about the 21 documents that you need for back to school. If you are getting ready for back to school, or if it's coming up in a month or so, 2 months if you're in the north, these are things that you should have together every single school year to make your year easier, to help things go smoothly, and to keep yourself organized. So here's my 21 documents that you need to have. Number one is class lists. Self-explanatory. Number two is IEPs, and this one is a hill to die on. I need to tell you this one. I've been told before that I didn't need to see IEPs because it was personal, and I didn't need that information, and that's super not true. If you are teaching a student, you need that IEP. You need to follow those IEPs to the letter, and it is super important. You have them for your job. Because you legally need to follow those. If somebody tells you you don't need them, and I've heard this before from other people, that is a hill to die on, and you need to go to the people higher up than them and get those documents so that you can serve your students the right way. Number three, same boat, is medical information. If there is something a student is struggling with medically, you need to know. If something happens in your room, if there's something, say they need to go to the restroom every 15 minutes, there might be a reason, and you need to know those things, again, for student safety. Number four is emergency information. And this could be for anything. You are in the classroom with them alone for sometimes 40 minutes, an hour. You need to have that information, and especially in field trips, if you have an after school or before school ensemble, any of those situations where you might be one of the only adults in the building, say for a couple, it's not like the full school day, you need that information. Number five is a big document, and that's curriculum. You need your curriculum documents. So your curriculum maps, your concept plans, any of those things that you need to make your year run smoothly from front to back. Curriculum maps here are really the big one, because then you use those to create lessons from the other documents. Number six is open house info. And the reason you need this at the beginning of the school year is because chances are you'll have some sort of open house, or you need to relay information to parents, and those are the best kinds of documents to have that's like quick at a glance for them. And this can be things like, explaining your class, the curriculum, rules, extra opportunities that they might have throughout the school year, grading. If you anticipate a field trip, like something you do every single year, like if you take fourth grade to the symphony, or if, third grade goes and every year gets to try instruments, whatever those are, you can put those in those documents. Number seven is surveys and info sheets, and this is how you get lots of information from your students very quickly. Some of it can be basic, just so you have that knowledge, like who do you live with? Do you have any pets? What kind of music do you like? And this is where you can draw other information for your class, like do you participate in music outside of school? Do you take lessons? Do you participate in a cultural group? Things like that. That's always really informational. And can really help drive what sort of things you bring into your classroom, even if their parents or their adults participate in something. Number eight is parent signups, and this is important. I've mentioned this before, but if you have students K-5, you have them for 6 years, which means those parents should be invested in your classroom. Build those relationships, and then those parents that want to volunteer and can volunteer in the school, bring them into your classroom. There's no reason they shouldn't be participating in your classroom if they want to be in school helping. Number nine is a budget tracker. You get a budget every year. You want to keep track of how much you've spent. If there's something really big on your wish list, working towards that. Those are important things. Number 10 is your subtub folder, or just your subtub if you do that. It's inevitable. You will need it. But having all of the documents laid out for your sub, like schedules and lists and things they need to know about students, IEPs, and medical things that you're allowed to share for running the class smoothly. They need all that information as well, and it should be all in your subtub or listed in your subtub where it can be found, procedures, all of those sorts of documents that a sub will need to make your class run smoothly. Number 11 is pre-tests for your growth goals. So you should have this ready to go. You don't have to try to create it the second week of school. Chances are you probably use the same ones every year. So once you create them, you've got them ready to go. Number 12 is rules and procedures. So any documents that you want to show students, if you've got rubrics that you put out or like things on the wall, all of those documents ready to go, and like a list of procedures that you want to teach your students or review with your students every year so that things can run smoothly. And that could even be like, how do we go to the restroom? Does one person go, or is it, you know, 2 people are allowed out because I've got 2 passes? Is there a number system by the door? Whatever your procedure is, it's something you need to teach your students. What do you do for a tornado drill? What do you do for passing out pencils? All of those little procedures that you can teach your students in advance helps your year run more smoothly, because then you don't have to repeat yourself 180 days in a row. Number 13 is your list of events and your calendar. And this is everything that you have that school year. So everything from your district, days off, events, things like that, performances that you've scheduled, birthdays, anniversaries, music conferences that you're going to, any trips you have planned, anything that fits in that, you need to have that ready to go as easily as possible. Obviously, you can't plan everything all in advance, but whatever you can put on that calendar, have that ready to go, and put somewhere where you can really reference it well. During the day, for me, I like my digital calendar, but I am an elder millennial, and I am definitely more comfortable with something I can glance at with paper, which sounds silly, but I need that, and that's something I carry with me. I just carry a small little thing to jot things down, because for me it's faster, and I've been burned before where I've not saved an event as I've typed it out. So I like having a paper calendar that I can glance at or take to meetings, or if like my phone is in my pocket, I don't have to pull it out. But whatever calendar you use, have it ready to go. 14 is your standards and your I can statements. So this is like, you know, I can write ticka ticka, I can decode ticka ticka. All of those things that you want to have your students do throughout the year, have those ready to go, because then, and you know, align them to your curriculum map and the standards, so that way you don't have to create those during the year. It's just one less thing you have to do on a daily basis. And these are, you know, one of those, I've created them once and now I've got them for the rest of my life kinds of things. I might have to add something, but as a whole, you have them mostly done. Number 15 goes along with that, and that is your rubrics. So any rubrics that you want to have ready to go throughout the year, those are really, you know, get them done and then you don't have to think about it. Number 16 is a PD log, so a place to log all of your professional development. You can easily do this in a Google Sheet because it's not something you need to access very often, but when you have something you've completed, you can put it in there, and then you can track what you need, depending on your state, how you need to track it, and all of that. 17 is documents for student data collection and assessment. So this is basically your class lists in a different form, maybe a Google Sheet, if you're using an app or a learning management system from your school. However you are keeping track of that data, you need to have it ready to go, so that you can start right away with, you know, pre-assessments and things like that as well. Number 18 is a contact log. And again, I say Google Sheets a lot. I love Google Sheets, and I know I've talked about that before, but I use them for everything. But Google Sheets works really well for this because you can just, add in those couple columns that you need, and you don't have to have like a list. You can easily, filter or sort them alphabetically so you can look and see how many parents you've contacted, who you haven't contacted, and make note if it's for positive interactions or if you need to talk about a behavior or if it's just informational, but a place to keep all of that and how you contacted them. Was it an email? Was it a phone call? What was said? Number 19 is seating charts. Seating charts are wonderful because you can keep track of students. You can separate students that need to be separated. You can easily move students away from students that they don't get along with or that you want them to learn to get along with. They're really important, especially at the beginning of the year as you're learning your students and how they interact with that group that they're in. 20 is an inventory. You need to know what's in your classroom before you bring anything in so that you can keep track of your personally bought things. If it's consumables, you need to know how much you have. If it's books and curriculum, whatever might be in the classroom, instruments, you need to know what's in there, what the condition of it is. Sometimes, I've got 18 great brand new Tubanos, and then I've got 4 that look like they've been through the ringer a few times, so make note of that. And then number 21, your very last thing, is your checklist for big events. So a list of all of those things you need to do to pull off any event that you might have. So you have a big concert. Okay, I need to make sure I've got the program. I need to order shirts. I need to do auditions. I need to send home a mailer. All of those things from the beginning of starting to prep to, post-concert day of, walking by and saying congratulations to the class. Oh, I'm so proud of you. You did so wonderful last night. Great work. Having a document to keep track of all of those things will help keep you organized and help you make sure that you don't miss anything. I know this was a lot of information. If you want, you can also check out this list on my blog. And if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.